Hello, everybody. This is Jeffrey from Ripecolor, and my very dear friend, Miss Susan. Say hello, Susan.
Yes, hello. My name is Susan, and I'm very excited to be here with all of you.
All right, so Susan and I talk really regularly, and Susan had a vision from above that we were talking about it, and we were like, well, why don't we just bring this to YouTube to bring this to the collective? So, Susan.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about your vision? Wait, there's
Yes.
dramatic music.
I
In case you don't hear it, there's dramatic music. Okay.
okay. So I'm gonna go backwards a little bit because the vision came after I was doing a process,
Right.
which was in my guest room with my cat. And it was like some really ungodly time of day. And I was just in there and I was starting to think about the things that were happening in my life that were unusual. Okay. So it's almost like I had hit a brick wall with some things that I thought were going to be kind of long term. And what it was is I saw a picture in my head, actually visually too, with my eyes closed, of being in a very large wheat field. Now,
Hmm.
interestingly enough, I had gone hiking nearby in Oregon where you have to drive up this gorgeous field. And I didn't really put those two together. But what was happening is I was starting to think, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why is this piece of my life, which is working in a specific store, starting to come to an end? There seems to be things that like seem odd and like maybe this isn't for me anymore and all of that. And I just kind of put that aside and allowed guidance to do the work of where I was.
Hmm.
And um, I let things happen. I was in the field. I was experiencing nature. And then I was, I stopped having that piece of it. And I got this really strong hit that said, go to your computer now and look up wheat fields. It's like wheat fields, that's like boring. And so, so I had this crazy thing happen, which was all about wheat fields and my life. And whoever wrote this wasn't doing it for me,
Hmm.
but it became for me, right? And I ended up with a 12-page description of what wheat fields can do in terms of our own lives. In other words, to love them, to be with them, to have the abundance of them. And I was like, whoa, how does this match so much of what I'm doing? Well,
Well,
when spirit wants to talk, they talk.
already it's like, so the message that I'm basically hearing, or maybe the instructions or the hint is, here we all are in our own lives, right? And
Yes,
it's about
yes,
be where you are, be where you
yes,
are, right? And sometimes it's
right.
like, well, I feel really uncomfortable and this isn't working or whatever. And then I have to maybe take a second look. It's like, but I'm in a building, or I'm outside, or I'm in my job,
Yes.
or in my car. So what else is going on instead of what I think, like what is actually going on?
It it was like this everything that was happening was what I was seeing in my own life.
Yeah.
And what my a friend of mine that works with me at this place where we teach, she was going through the same thing. And you and I talked about what you were going through as well. So um do you want me to keep going with the field
Yeah, no, yeah, but
and what I saw?
what I'm trying to give people like a little like hint or a little clue or a little key is
Yeah,
where am I? You know, because if I'm
right,
like, what's going to be, or I'm upset, or I can't believe that person did that. If I'm there, then I'm not really where I am. Where am I?
exactly,
So that's first.
exactly,
And then
right,
experience nature, big
yeah,
time help, big time help.
yeah,
Sometimes I don't know, and it's like, well, I can't get out of, I've got to get out of this living room. I've got to get out of this kitchen. I've got to get out of this
yeah.
office. It's like, go and lay in the grass, go and look at some flowers, go and, and everybody, even if you live in the most urban environment, there are little pieces of it, right? And then
Or
pay
you could
attention.
even do it in your own mind,
Right, right, right,
right?
right.
And so so what I ended up doing is I printed out all 12 pages of it and I sent it to two different people, one of whom was you. and um and the other person, I know she'll read it, but she's very busy, and it just told the whole story of what I'm going through and what I think other people are going through.
Mhm.
Because if it was just me, that wouldn't be worth, you know, getting on YouTube for it, because it's not just for me, it's for all of us.
Yeah.
And so it was golden, which interestingly enough, I did not set up the background for this today. It was just there because I am not using that for like 3.5 weeks from now. And for some reason it popped up. So here we are with another miracle, right? Because when you look at some of those pictures, like
Yeah.
especially the
They're
one
all about growth
here,
and abundance, all of them.
yeah, but it's about being outside. And like this one feels like she's even going into the field.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so the golden wheat field went on for miles, and the tops of the wheat was just flowing in the wind, right?
My hair.
Yeah, and like yeah, right, our hair, right? And when I started to read this, there were pieces of it that spoke to me so loudly that made everything I was concerned about and wanted to insert my own belief of what I should do next rather than spirit's idea
Mhm.
of what we, like me and you and this other friend, might really be interested in. So it's like the beauty of a wheat field, okay? It's almost endless, right? Imagine like, driving through the Midwest or something, which I've only done like 50 years ago when I moved from, one state to California. But it's like wheat fields are more than just picturesque landscapes. They're imbued with profound spiritual connotations and timeless wisdom. Even that one sentence is like, whoa, I could just go really far with
Yeah,
this.
no, it's almost like
Um,
looking at the sea or the sky. It's just this endless, it's endless and it's moving. Like looking at the waves. It's endless and it's moving. Yeah.
right, right. And it's almost like the tall part of the wheat is very tall, but they start moving back and forth in unison. And what that sort of said to me is, you are not the only one going through this,
Hmm.
which is a really big message.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of it just has to do with the times that we're in.
Hmm.
The uncertainty, the okay, what do I do now? Because that thing left, and the other thing isn't here yet. Um, so it's about abundance, like,
Big time.
you know,
Yeah.
right? And at the same time, prosperity.
Mhm.
So all I kept thinking about was, I just want to walk in between all of these parts of the wheat that's just blowing in the wind. It was golden. It signifies success in
Hmm.
harvesting. So
Hmm.
that could be like, and I'm just going to talk about something that's related to me, but I grow sunflowers. Okay.
Mhm.
And when I start the sunflowers, there's a little teeny weeny thing. And
Yeah,
then you
it's
put them in the
incredible.
pods and
Yeah,
suddenly they're starting to grow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I have not yet talked about sunflowers or thought about sunflowers, but that's a part of the natural world that I create every summer.
Hmm.
So, so, do you want to ask some questions
No, no, I
or?
just have observation. Gold is really a symbol of the divine masculine. Gold is a symbol of the sun. And it's the
Well,
symbol
look
of,
at that. Look at that showed up right there. There's the
huh?
sun
Yeah,
right behind my head.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
active growth. And it's this energy of um, active. It's active growth.
right.
It's radiance and it just continues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it does its own thing,
yeah.
right? And so um I'll just read another one that I thought was really, I mean, there was so much in this piece that just warmed my heart. Just as a single grain of wheat, when planted and nurtured, can give birth to an abundant harvest, and then this part is related to like humans. Humans too can achieve personal growth and spiritual fruition through patience, ta-da, nurturing, and care.
Mhm.
I mean, that speaks to you as well, what you do with the plants, up on the roof.
Actually, I did some, I did a little number today. I'll tell you after.
Okay, okay. And it's fertility. It's a reward when, the season is over and then you cut down, you know, you cut it down and you use it for whatever. You build a house or
You eat
make
bread?
bread or,
Yeah.
yeah, good bread, right? And then this one, there were so many sentences that just caught me, and I love this one. When one sees a wheat field, and that would be the vastness of a wheat field, right? It serves as a reminder that patience, hard work, and perseverance lead to fruitful outcomes.
Mhm.
And when I see fruitful, it's, I could even think of my apple tree or
Mhm.
something like that. They're tall, okay?
Mhm.
They get really, really tall. And the farther we are into the season, it's the taller they get. And the taller they get, I don't know why I'm getting this stuff, but the taller they get means, the beginning of something new, tall and big.
Mhm. Mhm.
Does that strike a note with you as
Yeah, yeah,
well?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's all
Yeah.
about honoring a process. It's all about like, okay, I've done what I can do, and now I'm going to let it grow, and I'm going to encourage it to grow, and I'm going to hold its hand, so to speak, while it grows.
Absolutely. Okay, so here's another sentence that got me, which I happen to have all 12 pages, but I won't talk about all 12, only the ones that are singing right now. And listen to this one. Just as a singular wheat stalk cannot constitute a field, a single individual cannot form a community.
Exactly.
And then we're into the connection between humans,
Hmm.
that we are in some ways the wheat in the field
Hmm.
reaching out and bringing in
Hmm.
human beings who might be having some of the same similar issues
Hmm.
that we're going through. And there was a reason why I sent it to you and to my other friend, is because I felt in some interesting ways we were all going through the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Not
funny. That
exact.
last thing you said is so when I go up to my garden, I always say to them, like, this is my little to-do that I basically say. It's my
Right.
understanding with them. It's like you grow as I grow as you grow.
That's right. It's beautiful. So if I may, I went back and I started looking at spiritual messages from the wheat fields to us as if it needed to be codified or something like a book written or something about the power of it. So I'm just going to go to the spiritual messages of a wheat field. And I'll do like five of them because
Okay.
each one has 14. I don't want to bore people. But okay, reap the harvest of your actions,
Mhm.
right? Like be kind, have an open heart, feed people, all of that. Um, Growth requires patience and persistence,
Mhm.
which is a lesson that I've been learning my whole life because I'm like, okay, let's do this now, like that kind of
Me
thing.
too. Yeah.
Um, Notice the soil of your soul.
Beautiful.
So it's almost like, what do others see when they see you?
Mhm.
Right? It's beautiful. Um, Stands tall but sways with the wind's wisdom.
Mhm.
And I'll just do one more. This I love. Embrace the collective power of unity.
Beautiful.
I am part of all that that is.
Mhm.
I can just do one more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Notice the dance of the tall grass, which matches the dance of life.
Very lovely.
So, so that's my story. And,
Well, let me tell
you
you
know,
what happened to
and,
me yesterday. So
go
yesterday,
ahead.
I've been working really hard. I just wrote a new little booklet. So it's more shadow work stuff.
Yeah.
um, about letting go of the past. So I put it together as like a little so it's about, I don't know, 8 prompts, 25 affirmations, and a meditation, a really powerful meditation that I have, that it's rewrite the past, where you go back to a place that was really painful or traumatizing in a meditation, and you see it and you feel it. And, like, let's say when you were a little kid, your mother said you were, you know, foolish, just for an example.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're still there,
Mm,
right? You still feel it. So you go back to that
mm,
place as that child and say, no, I'm not foolish. And then, you're the mother, I'm just giving an example, says, you're right, you're not foolish. Or you change, you shift the script in order to like shift the energy from then
mm-hmm.
into the energy of now and kind of reclaim. And maybe it's almost like planting the wheat in a better field, so to speak, like a more fertile field.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I put
Yeah.
together that. I'll have it on all below. It's available. But in any case, yesterday I've been working on something really hard, and it's not really been working for about 2 weeks. And it took me over 2 weeks to get this together to put it out. It's a long story.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yesterday I was like, I'm taking the day off. I can't. And I mean, I sort of took the day off. I put up a blog, and I was like, okay, you got to go home. You got to leave now. And also because I knew it wasn't going to rain yesterday, and I'm in the rainy season now, so it kind of rains every day. So I was like, go to the park. So
Right.
I go to the park, and I'm laying down, and I'm with my little trees, or big trees. They were pines, actually. And I'm laying there, and I'm like, okay, I let go of everything. Give me the message, la, 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 with this expectation, right? And I see
Yeah.
there are all these little birds because there are a lot of newborn birds because it's that time of the year, and they're really little. And there's one, he keeps on trying to go from one tree to the other, right? And he sort of makes it halfway there, and then he gets back, and then it's like, you can do it, dude.
Yeah.
So, but he keeps on like back and forth, and he's really pretty high up, and he's really small, like maybe that big. And and it came, and this is because I sat and I was where I was, and I let go of what didn't work and what I wanted to do, and I was just like, okay, just be here with the trees and watch them sway. And so the little message from the bird is, because I was with myself and I was with the bird, was Just keep on trying things. Just keep on trying things. Eventually, you'll make it to the other tree. It doesn't even matter.
Mhm.
Just keep on. It's almost like you go, like, let's say I went and I bought six different kind of flowers that I knew nothing about, which is what I do. And then, you have all this hope for the red one, and it's like, and then the red one doesn't really, it's like, hmm. But the yellow one ends up being like, wow, wow, I can't believe how big this thing grew. So that's what I've been
Yeah,
doing. It's like, well, I don't, instead of making up my mind about what's going to work and what's not going to work and expectations, just do what you do, let go of the expectations, and then move on to the next thing. That's what's really working
absolutely.
for me. That's what's really
That's
working
right.
for me. So, I have a lot of succulents. So one of them has grown pretty tall. And so I took off pieces and I put it in other pots. Sometimes they take and sometimes they don't. And
That's right.
it's like, I think I give it enough water. I think I give it enough light. I always test. If I do two or three, one of them is more shaded, one is more sunny. One has more like one has better soil, one has soil because they're succulents. So sometimes they don't really like good soil. They like really crappy
I
soil.
love succulent. Yes, yes,
So, like, that's what I do. And it's like, I try this, I try that, and see what happens. See what happens. Oh, no, I
right.
have to do this one thing. It has to be this way. It has to be done in this amount of time. I have to get my money back in 2 weeks. It doesn't really work like that.
It's yeah, it's when you put yourself within with these limitations. Now, I just want to share something. It is sort of related, it is not sort of related, but it
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
more. Okay, you see the background of this? I want to just tell the audience something funny.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to have a background. And, we kind of got a little late. And this is something that is related to an event that we're doing regarding the summer solstice. And I did not put this background up. Someone else did. Spirit did. I'm telling you. And that's why it's like, oh my God, where'd those come from? They're backwards. What am I gonna? I need to take them down. And it's like, no, you didn't put them up. Spirit put them up. Your guides put them up because what's happening behind me is for both of us and
Mhm.
for anybody listening. Because it's about the harvest. It's about all the things you throw into the cornucopia. It's
Mhm.
about the sun shining with her warmth upon our bodies during certain times of year, actually all the time. But I mean, I just got that I don't know, some little gremlin or spirit or whoever the god is, did the background today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I didn't ask anybody.
No, I mean, that's
Yeah,
total, all I have to do is show up. I have to show up, you know,
right,
and you know
right,
how it is because you have a garden too. It's like I think I'm going to work on this one, but actually it's like this one over here, they're saying, "Can you move me a little bit?" or whatever. I think I'm going to work on this one, but it's like, no, this one. So all I have to do is show up and see what comes up. See what comes up.
right,
What's the most important
right.
thing today? What's the thing I would enjoy doing most today? Do
Well, it's
do I
but
need to
today,
like plant myself in another place,
yes.
right? Do I need more sun? Do I need more sleep? Do I need like that, you know?
Or
And
do we need more belief in what we're doing?
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
that's sort of the theme of why we're here today, because I have a funny feeling that a lot of people are going through this.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I thought it was going to be this way and it's
well,
not.
this is
And
exactly really what's going on, and this is what's been going on really for this year. There's this individual stuff that we're all letting go of, but it's a collective thing that we're all letting go of at the same time. And
exactly.
it's the outer and the inner, it's the microcosm and the macrocosm are really much more in tune. So if I'm going through something, it's like, oh, it's not just me. It's not just me. Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
like I'm really intuitive. So like when I'm reading cards, like I can feel the person, right? So it's coming from here, but it's also coming from, but it's simultaneous. It's almost like this weird, I don't know, like this back and forth. It's almost like fresh water and brackish water. It's like they mix and then they mix and then they mix and then,
Okay.
you know, a little bit like that. And then today, for my card of the day, because I throw a card every day, I got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man's a really fascinating card. The
It's
Hanged
like
Man,
all of the, yeah. But
this is about a willing
before I forget,
self-sacrifice.
yeah,
It's
go
about
ahead. Yes,
things from a
totally.
different angle. It's like I'm willing to let go of my expectations. I'm willing to let go of a habit, a thought habit. I'm willing to let go because it doesn't serve me anymore. And so,
Right.
because this is a willing let go, this isn't like, oh, I have to give up the chocolate and, and then you go off the diet and only it's a matter of time before, eat as much chocolate. And it's like, no, I willingly give this up because I know that there's something else that can take its place, or because I was too attached,
Yeah,
because I was too attached.
yeah,
So, interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Do you ever, you know, I, I, I
So
go
Susan,
places
tell
by
us about,
airplane a
tell
lot.
us, give us
Oh,
more detail about what you're doing on the 21st.
oh, that's so cool. This was like we were trying to do something completely different. There's people that give classes where I teach um all the time. Some
And
are just
tell us
specifically,
where it is.
I will admit,
Okay.
specifically, about, let's say, astrology. Or we've done past life regressions in a group and so on. But when I saw the June 21st date, I realized that that's the first day of summer.
Hmm.
So we need to have a party. I said that to my friend. And she said, yes, yes, let's make food. And I'm a talk about chocolate. I love making molten chocolate cake and brownies that are really gooey, and then get a big watermelon. And and that's just the end of the evening. But during the evening, um, we're going to talk a little bit of astrology, and then we're going to move into my friend. I didn't want to say her name, but I did. She's going to go around and give like foot massages and stuff like that when people are lying down, and breath work and stuff like that. And we're going to go from that into something called the Yoga Nidra, which is about 6 or 7 different practices that are given to people by the person who's facilitating, which would be me. And it would be, okay, now close your eyes and just imagine that we're going to be in a big grove of redwood trees. And every single one of those, I like to bring in a goddess.
Hmm.
So I had to do some research, and I brought in the goddess named Aine, Aine. I didn't even know much about her, but she's very playful, and she's very much into the summer solstice
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
And when that's over, we would do some guided visualizations of seeing things like, I'll say, okay, big white clouds in the air, birds flying by, and I say it quickly, and they have to stay with me rather than going into their own mind,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And and then each person also does something called a sankalpa, which is a desire that they want to meet.
Hmm.
And it could be like, for me, like, let go of the idea of what it is you're planting and let the weeds do their work, in the field. Um, and so we do that, and people come back to it at the end and they reaffirm it. And then we come back into the room, and we've had about a 20-minute event, which is totally guided visualization, not meditation, but you're
Right, right.
using your third eye, you're using all sorts of things. And for me, it's probably my favorite practice of the whole yoga tradition.
Hmm.
So there's that. And then at the end, we're going to do something that I'm not really big on generally. I am not a party goer. I usually don't interact too much with people, but it it wanted to speak of summer and the fun of summer. And the irony is both of us women who are giving this event are summer babies.
Mm.
Mine's July 19th and hers is, I think it's August something like the 8th. And so we've got, even the hosts are celebrating the summer of our birth, rebirth, and all of that. So that's what we're doing. And interestingly,
And it's in
we're
Portland
gonna.
on the
It's in
21st.
Portland.
And
Yes,
you'll give me the info and
it's
I'll.
called New Rent. Okay, it's called the New Renaissance Bookshop
Okay.
on 23rd Street in Portland.
Okay.
And I think there's two spiritual bookstores, but this is the one that's been there the longest.
Hmm.
And we've been doing a lot of work with different ways of being and meet the goddess and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
So I I think that what happened, I'm going to go back to the wheat. What it's like, I always hear about people having these incredible spiritual experiences. And part of me always goes, I wish that would happen for me. I wish that would happen to me. And the reality is that's happening for all of us all the time,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And the idea is to, rather than go, oh my God, and then let it go, but go deeper into what spirit's trying to tell us
Hmm.
about this time in your life.
Hmm.
And that's why it was really fun
Right. And
to
sometimes when
have
something
that
happens,
experience.
it's like, okay, like maybe you don't understand it, right? So like if you see
Yeah,
a certain, like I see a lot of stuff, but
yeah,
if you don't understand, go on the internet. It's like, well, I saw a wasp today. What does that mean? I saw,
right.
a robin and I hardly see robins. So what does that mean? Or
Wow.
you know, like look it up and then
Yeah,
see if it resonates with you. And maybe there's one or two words, and it's like, well, I don't really know if that's really true, but I'd like for that to be true. So why don't I concentrate on productivity? Why don't I concentrate on fertility?
right.
Why don't I concentrate
Yeah,
on that color of whatever it is that I saw? And
right.
what's the message there? And then you keep on asking. The more you ask yourself, and the more you answer yourself, and the more you follow yourself, the stronger it becomes. And maybe
Yeah,
in the beginning you don't know.
sure.
Like it's almost like you have a coach in the gym, right? And you don't know what you're doing. And they say, yeah, lift it like that. And you're like, okay. And then you lift it like that. It's like, well, I don't need you anymore.
That's good. That's good.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the way
I
it
mean,
is, right?
there are so many ways, to get information, right?
Yeah.
And you were just talking about that. Okay, so I live in the country, and I was driving down this big hill. It's probably about 5 years ago, and this peacock crossed the road in
Oh,
Oregon. It's like, what the heck? Like, peacocks don't live in Oregon, but people, collect animals and stuff. And it was like, oh, okay, go home now. And look up in one of your animal books. They have all those books about what animals mean. Why did the peacock cross the road? Well, to get to the other side, or to show you, me, how beautiful life is.
hmm.
The peacock feathers, the whole thing, the unusual location of a peacock. you know. And the thing is that if we just remember to open our eyes
Yeah, just we have
and
to
look at
just
where
pay
we are.
attention, right? Pay
Yeah,
attention. Hmm.
right,
Pay
right.
attention and see, and because see, it's because I think so much, we're all in what's going to happen tomorrow, or oh, I can't believe what happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we keep on feeding that, and we keep on
Mm-hmm.
feeding that, and keep on feeding that. It's almost like I'm planting my seeds in the wrong garden. I'm planting my seed,
Yeah,
so it might not grow, or it might grow in a warped way. And
yeah,
it's like, no, I have to pay attention to what's growing. And then, a lot of times, because I have quite a lot of plants upstairs. Some of them that are doing so well, all of a sudden they're like, we're done. And I'm like, I'm trying, and sometimes I can revive them, and sometimes they just die. And that's part of it. And that's part of it. It's like, well, I thought it was going to be this way. It could be a friendship. It could be, right? Oh, I thought, and sometimes it lasts for a long time, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't belong there anymore. But, then
Oh
you
yeah.
get something else, and sometimes, you get something and it's like, "Oh, I don't think this thing is going to grow. I don't think it's going to come back." And then it does. And then it does. So my job is to observe and to pay attention to the ones that are growing and help them nourish and grow. There are other things sometimes as they're on their way out. Sometimes I can revive it, and a lot of times I can't. And it's okay. It's okay.
Well, here's the
There are
thing
other
too.
things that are
You
thriving.
know, yeah. I mean, and if you have expectations, they're not always going to be, made
Yeah,
into something,
yeah, yeah,
including friendships,
yep,
right?
yep,
What worked like, 7 or 8 years ago, or even for me, I had a 50-year relationship that just blew out of the water, just
yeah,
done,
yeah.
you know. And when you realize that, well, that's just your growth at
Hmm.
that time,
Hmm.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
almost like a little experiment. Like if you go buy a seed packet and it's like assorted wildflowers, it's like just
oh
throw it
yeah,
out, see what happens. Just see
I
what
do that
happens.
too. I
I
know.
really want them all to be yellow and I want them all to be 5 inches long and I want them to
Huh?
graduate. It's like, that's nice. But like just throw them all out, see what happens. It's like, oh my God, that's a purple I've never seen before in my whole life.
Yeah, yeah. One year, I did the sunflower thing, and one year, one seed grew 14 feet high
Oh my
and
God.
had like 15 branches.
Wow.
One seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
and I'm only 5 feet tall. And so it's like it's like more than
It was
double.
a little bit like
It's
Jack and
like,
the
oh, I'm gonna
Beanstalk. It was like Jack and the
climb now.
Beanstalk.
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah. I I think the key in all of this is to be be flexible. Don't
Hmm.
overthink.
Hmm.
Don't say, oh, that means this, but it might not mean that, you know, and just receive what it is that the outside world and spirit are trying to tell us.
Yeah. Yeah. Receive what it is you need.
Right.
Receive what it is you need. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just like
So,
that, just like those pictures behind me.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. See, and I this is my fake background. I'm actually at the beach.
right.
Do you hear the wave? Do you hear the waves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's very loud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's somebody
So,
playing a trumpet on the street right now. I don't think you can hear it, but there's somebody playing a trumpet on the street.
no, I can't. That's fun.
So,
So, what else do we want to talk
well, I
about?
just wanted to say, this is where I really I want to be with my channel. So, I do like the new moon and the full moon and the monthly, and then I do special things and la la la. But this is where I really want to be with their channel, like bringing people in. If they have a YouTube, they teach a class, they don't teach a class. You could be somebody who just sits around and knits at home, but it's like, well, I have a little something I want to bring to the community. I have a little something I want to share that's hopeful, and
Mhm.
because it's like if you want to bring fear, then go go to another channel.
Watch TV.
That's one of the things
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
let
know.
die in the garden, you know? So
Yeah,
I wanted to like open it up like that. Oh, and the other thing
nice.
I of course forgot to mention, Nancy and I are definitely going to be we're going to have a definite date by the end of the week. We have we
Good.
we want to get it going by June, by the end of June. So we need like three or four more students because we
Okay.
have to have like a certain amount because otherwise it's just not worth it. And also,
Yeah, I get it.
we're going to have some of our past students come and
Oh,
because we're going to have people. So, like when you're learning to read cards, okay, so
mhm,
I was going to talk about this card anyway. Because when you were talking about, when you
great.
told me about the whole wheat field, the Empress is a perfect example of this. Here's the wheat field in front of her. The Empress is
Yeah.
like a really, really beneficial card. She's a three, she's creative. She's
Hmm.
Venus incarnate. She's kind of a cross between Venus and Mother Earth. She's full of
Hmm.
fertility and flow and abundance, and
Hmm.
never-ending abundance. It's this never-ending, continual growth abundance. That's what the Empress is about. So, okay, I'm teaching the class and I tell you about the Empress, and then you're one of the students in the class and you go, what is that yellow light behind her? What is that golden light behind her? And it's like,
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
what you see when you, right? And then another person who looks at the card is going to see what she's wearing. And then and so everyone's going to have their own little thing. But when you're with a group, you're like, I never would have thought of it like that. I never would have thought of it like that. Oh, I
It's
can
a great
actually
idea.
utilize a piece of that. It's almost like it's like everyone's a cook and everyone's getting together and someone says, you got to add the onion first. And it makes the whole recipe. You got to add the onion first. Oh, oh. It's a little bit like that. So anyway, the information will be below, and it's going to be it's on Nancy's site because we both can't, it's too confusing. Then I owe her this, and she owes me that, and blah blah blah. So I'm going to put the link to Nancy's site there. So sign up. We're going to have it going on by the end of the month. I'll have an exact date, probably Friday. Today's Thursday, and that's that.
Yeah, do you mind if I just give you a little shout out? Because I took your class a couple years ago and I learned a little bit about tarot as long ago as like 30 years ago.
Mhm,
And then just Oracle cards came into my life and took over.
mhm.
And but I got so much out of your class.
Thank you.
Both of you are very knowledgeable, very caring about what kind of experience the students are actually having. And
Mhm.
we got so much information. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So just wanted to
I love teaching it.
add to that.
I love teaching it. I
I do
really do.
too.
Because I mean, and this is also in a certain way. I mean, look, my thing with the channel is like, you know, I want to help people get in touch with their own thing, That's why I write the shadow work books. That's what I'm
Mhm.
about. It's like I'm gonna like show you what I've done and like guide you a little. It's like here. Here's what you need, right? It's almost like I'm an art teacher and I put like the clay and the paper and the crayons in it, and they're like, oh, what should I do? It's like, do whatever you want. I'll show you how to work with the clay. I'll show you how to work with the pencils, but it's like, well, I want to make yeah. I want to make a skyscraper out of clay. Well, then make a skyscraper out of clay.
Well, those are the best teachers that don't take charge, right? They give the students this wide
Yeah,
ability
come and
to
ask
bring
me,
in whatever.
come and ask me if you don't really, and then,
Yeah, for
yeah.
clarity.
Oh no, it has to be,
No,
the
no, no,
artwork has to be
no.
on this size paper. It's like draw on the wall, you know.
I love it. It's perfect. Perfect.
So
So,
that's my energy. It's like trying to like get you to expand your own light,
right,
right?
right. Yeah.
And keep the
Well,
crows out. Keep the crows out, right?
yeah. The crows are, yeah. Keep the crows out. But I mean, getting kind of back to what started um, us deciding to have a conversation like this was I was very sure that things were going to be a certain way. and that I have to do it a certain way. And Spirit kind of went, girl, go to the back room with the cat. Close your eyes. We got something for you. I mean, they didn't specifically say that, but that's exactly what happened. And then when I was guided to the computer, and then I found this thing about the wheat, and it's like, oh my, that's us. The answer is blowing in the wind,
Hmm.
like, right? Like that old song.
Hmm.
And that we're really somewhat in charge of our lives, but really there's a big part that
Yeah,
we're not.
I know. I know.
And but to accept it, like, oh, okay, well, I'm learning XYZ from it instead of, oh my God, this thing happened to me today. I bet, like that. That's what happened to a lot of my family. That's how people talked to each other. And so, it's like, well, maybe it's not so bad if I don't have an answer to my question until the end of the week,
Hmm.
right? When we
Hmm.
least expect it.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah.
And also, it comes down to whatever you pay attention to will grow. And if I pay attention to my problems and to all that's wrong, and it's an easy thing to do.
It's,
It's really easy because,
I know.
we live in this world of, oh, it has to be like this and it has to be like that. And it's like, says who? And like if I pay attention to that, oh, well, I don't have the right thing to wear and I don't live in this place and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like I have this incredible pie in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Let's
I
eat the
know.
pie. Oh,
And you don't
I
really
don't have
want
the right
to,
fork.
right,
I don't have the right plate. Well, eat it with your fingers.
right. And we all have a lot of stories in our lives, right? I mean, it's just the nature of life and how we learn and all that. And some of it could be really hard and
Yeah,
sad and difficult,
yeah,
with loss and all that. But it's not who you are, it's
right,
what you've experienced,
right.
right? And the who you are it doesn't mean you ignore what happened or
The
you
who you
don't
are,
mourn
the who
someone
you
who
are is the wheat field. That's the who you are.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah,
That's a great way to end our conversation
yeah. The who
today.
you are is a wheat field. One of those seagulls on the beach made that noise. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, very good.
So
We're both
after
from
this,
beach
of course, you know
places,
what's going to
right?
happen. I'm gonna, we'll end the conversation, right? And then, we'll have our own thing together. And then I'm gonna get to work, and then in 10 minutes, I'm gonna be like,
No.
and then I'll go up to the roof and I'll see if a bird shows up and ask
Okay.
it what it has to tell
You
me.
wanna do you wanna like stop the recording
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
what we're doing?
Blessings to everyone. And if you're in Portland on the 21st, check it out.
Yep.
All the information will be below.
5:30 or 5, yeah. Yeah.
I'll put
And
all the
really good
information below.
desserts.
And I also want to put a shout out to people who watch me because I know a lot of you are like into this kind of thing. Like you want to come and tell us, where you see it, where you feel it, or if you have a YouTube channel you want to promote, or you're into numerology, astrology, healing, things to that extent. Great. Like, let's do it. Let's do it. Right?
Amen.
Okay. Blessings to everyone. And thank you, Susan. And see you all soon. Bye.